Hello and welcome to the Merle and Locke podcast. I'm Merle.
And I'm Locke.
Set sail and low expectations for everything nerd, accompanied by a healthy, albeit shameful, help with pointless banter, lack of focus, and questionably acquired knowledge.
And more.
And more. Today marks the day of the 100th episode of the Merle and Locke podcast.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, 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 pew. How exciting. Fireworks all around, sparklers. Here we go. What we wanted to do for this episode wasn't anything, too spectacular. We just wanted to kind of reminisce on this journey that we've been on and see how far we've come.
And what a journey it's been.
Quite the journey, full of adventures. No, it hasn't been. We've just been sitting at the same spots mostly and just talking to one another like we do most weekends.
Adventures start in the mind.
Yeah, I guess so. Man, but what I did was I pulled together some old clips that I thought we could go through and just have a quick listen, and then we can just discuss. What do you think? Do you want to give this first one a go since we just did the intro?
Let's do it.
We have the intro now. And we're going to listen to the intro of our very first episode. Here we go. Let's give this a listen. Hello and welcome to the Merle and Locke podcast. I'm Merle.
And I'm Locke.
Set sail and low expectations for everything nerd, accompanied by a healthy, albeit shameful helping of pointless banter, lack of focus, and questionably acquired knowledge.
Agonizing and slow.
Very slow, right? I think the main reason that we wrote that intro is just because we didn't want to be somebody that gives you like the latest scoops on whatever it may be. And we just thought like we're going to be like headliners, right? We're going to read the headlines and then extrapolate from there kind of thing. That's our whole shtick, right? Come to our own conclusions and we talk bullshit, whatever it may be. It's like nothing serious about this channel whatsoever. Well, I say that, but we have had serious conversations in the past.
We're serious about being unserious.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, let's roll with that. Anyway, so we wrote that. Then later on, when we had a few episodes out, I started looking at the analytics and what have you, because we were getting some decent traffic coming through, but they would drop out of the video before the intro was even over.
Which I can understand why now. I mean,
they started listening to the intro and then they're like, "No, I'm out," and yeah, just check out right from there.
They just went blank behind the eyes.
Yeah, I remember one day we were recording an episode. I was like, I'm thinking maybe we drop the intro because people just aren't interested after hearing it. And you brought to my attention that our main supporter, God, they said that they loved the intro and they wanted us to keep it in.
Ask and they shall receive.
And so we have to cater to Khan because Khan is so wise, all powerful. We must obey Khan. So we did. But we decided to speed it up as much as we possibly could.
And it's turned into a tongue twister of sorts.
It's gotten me a few times, even though I've said it how many times now. Sometimes it still gets me and I trip over my words, but I mean, it's to be expected. I feel like it's gotten faster and faster. I know it's something very uninteresting, but we're just, looking into these little things that we've had to deal with or the thoughts we've had about it. Next up, I was looking at the editing files for some of our first episodes. And there is very little editing. I would spend a bit of time trying to balance the audio and cutting out certain things, but it wouldn't be that in depth. But nowadays, whenever I edit episodes, they're very heavily edited. It'll take me hours to edit an episode because of all like the cuts and rebalancing that I have to do. But it took me a while to get to that point, how crappy quality the episodes were, and tried to get them into like something a little bit more streamlined, something quick and snappy that will hold people's attention.
It's between the editing and how quick we've gotten with it. We've gotten a little bit better with being able to go back and forth without having so much dead air.
we're starting to pick up where the other left off very quickly. Whereas before, when we first started, I think we had better manners about it towards one another while we were speaking. Like we would allow each other to complete their thought, even though there'd be 30 seconds of dead space in between those thoughts. We'd be like, no, you finish.
Go ahead, finish the thought. Now we're like, fuck it, shut up. Listen, I'm talking.
Now we fight. We fight for the air. As soon as there's a pause in your thought, I'll pick it up. Or as soon as there's a pause in mine, you'll pick it up. And we kind of interrupt each other constantly. But I feel like that helps with the flow. Keeps us on our toes, I suppose. But I want to look at a couple of these clips here that show that dead air that we would constantly have. So let's give this first one a listen.
Was from those little ventriloquism dolls. It just makes this unease in you. Like, I guess you can use the neutrino gun on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was a whole thought that made no sense whatsoever. It just was all over the place.
This is the way I talk, right? Naturally, this is the way I talk, where I'll begin a thought, and once dead space starts to happen, I start to realize that there's no way of completing that thought, or my thought process does like a 360, or not a 360, a 90 maybe. I'll do a 90 and go off on something else, and I do that constantly. I've learned how to edit it out and try to make it somewhat cohesive,
Or at least finish the thought.
yeah, seemingly cohesive, I suppose, where it's not in the first place, but I edit it to make it sound like it is. So let's listen to this second clip that I have right here.
I know we've gotten a lot of enjoyment out of it. It's just, it's, oh gosh, like how do you describe it? Like, your fun is so often based on the mood of the person you're facing, right?
Yep.
Okay, so that was a lot. I feel like 10% of that clip is usable. So what we usually do is we record anywhere from like 20 to 25 minutes.
Something like that.
By the time I'm done editing, I cut out maybe at least 5 minutes of it just in dead air and pointless thoughts that go nowhere. I know it's kind of manipulative to edit that way. It's not 100% genuine. I would make it so it's streamlined, get the thought across, you enjoy yourself while you're here, and then you're out, right? A quick and easy podcast episode. It's not long-winded whatsoever. 15 to 20 minutes and you're out. So yeah, a lot more work has gone into this, and we've evolved a lot since those first episodes. I mean, still, admittedly, there's troubles here and there as far as the editing process goes, especially if we don't have things set up proper and we record an episode, then I only find out in editing that some of it is unusable or all of it is unusable.
In which case, it's my fault.
It's easy for me to create a controlled environment since I live alone. You, on the other hand, do not live alone, and you have animals.
They all want to be famous. The dog, as you heard him earlier, he wanted himself to be known, and he did it once again during recording this.
Your dog, he's an absolute mess.
He's absolutely jealous. He wants all the fame to himself.
I'm sure he'll get a bark or two into some of these episodes every now and again. So speaking of that, all these variables that we have to deal with and the poor audio quality, let's start getting into that a little bit. I have this clip of a problem that we had with one of your recordings. It was early on. We were still at the point of we're not going to ditch an episode because episodes are precious.
So precious.
We'll never get that conversation back. It's never going to be able to happen again, so we have to keep it no matter how bad it is. I want to play this clip of, I think you had like an AC unit or something running, and you could hear it kind of in the background. I did my best trying to cut out all that background noise, but it still hung about. I want to play this for you real quick. All right.
No, that was going back even further than that, and I had that on my computer. It was probably emulated. I had somebody who had emulated games on a disc for me,
Okay, so that's just a short little clip.
It was either the AC unit or it was my laptop, which I was using at the time, which has just the loudest fan. I think some cat hair got up in it, and it's just the noisiest thing.
So if you couldn't hear it, you have to listen close. But I mean, if you work with this stuff enough, you start to like pick out these little things in these recordings where it just bugs the ever living crap out of you. So I get very irritated, admittedly, whenever things sound kind of off. And in the background of that clip, you can hear whatever that fan is, and it just goes womp, 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 womp. And I'm like, oh man, it is absolutely maddening.
Tell me about it. I have to live with it.
You don't even seem to notice.
No, I mean, once you live with something long enough, you almost kind of blank it out. It's no longer a part.
I mean, that's true. We've made a lot of moves since then. I've learned a lot about balancing audio. I've worked enough with it now. I'm starting to get the hang of things. I'm no audio engineer. We're not popular enough to hire an audio engineer. So it's basically just us learning as we go. You would think if someone were to start up a podcast episode that was solely based on sound, you would make far more efforts to research and prepare before starting the actual podcast, right?
Right.
But no, we didn't go that direction.
No.
No, we decided to learn as we go, like I said, but we've gotten a lot better. And over this past summer, I built you a booth in which to record, a booth that fits up in your attic. And then you did all the soundproofing and stuff for it and got it all ready to go, ready to record in. And so this is the first episode in which we're utilizing that booth. Fingers crossed it sounds really good.
It holds my screams well. I mean,
Right. It's very cozy. I'm guessing it's going to get hot in there during the summer.
yeah, it gets so hot in this old house. I can't wait to test that out. I'm gonna die.
Probably, yeah. But that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. But speaking of audio, there was also a lot of complaints, or not a lot of complaints, but there was some suggestions early on in which we had to deal with where people would say the audio was okay, but switching back and forth between you two, one, I would have to turn the volume up for, and when the other person spoke, I would have to turn the volume down. And I had a lot of trouble trying to figure that out. Good Lord. It took me.
Because you are so loud.
Yeah,
So loud.
I'm so loud. Yeah, for sure. Now, like we've had a lot of problems with peaking out. As far as the fluctuations go in the decibel level of our voices, I couldn't for the life of me figure out how to balance the two, until I learned how to use, compression and whatnot. Some people are probably thinking to themselves, ugh, common sense right there. But I didn't know. I'm still learning. I want to play this clip right here of us just peaking out so terribly. After I balance the audio of this episode, I'm going to see if I can't just leave this little bit of it unbalanced so that people can get an understanding of the peaking. All right, so let me play this real quick and see how it sounds.
I've been noticing this. I don't know. And
By the way, you're an asshole.
By the way, you're an asshole. And then they cry about it. You hug it out. And end credits.
What a movie.
Okay.
So loud. So loud.
It is very loud. And once again, you get a little taste of your S's, right?
I still have no idea what you're talking about. You say my S's are hard.
Your S's are awful.
Steven resents that.
I don't know how you get your S's so strong. It's so piercing. I don't know how you do it. It's funny how often the only peaks I'll see in your audio sometimes, if you have a line of dialogue or something editing through, and I'll see like all these peaks all over the place. I know from the get-go, depending on how much peaking there is, I'll be like, oh, I'm pretty sure those are just S's. And then I'll start listening through it, and yes, in fact, they are all S's, all the peaks. You know, it's always S's, and I'm like, how does he do it? God, it's crazy. It's crazy how good you are at S's. I don't know if it's a skill or a curse or you're part snake, whatever it is.
I'm going to say that I am really skilled and let you have fun editing that later.
Ugh. Golly. As far as the podcast goes, it's all been an experiment, a big learning curve. We've had a lot of fun with it. I know this is kind of bittersweet as to how far we've come, but we've talked about this time and again, like how far we're going to go with it. And episode 100, I feel like, as good a time as any to announce that this is the end of Merlin Locke podcast.
All good things must come to an end.
We've had a lot of fun with it. We've learned a lot.
It's been real.
It's been real. I forgot to silence my phone.
Good job.
Yeah, I know. Oh, gosh.
This is why it has to come to an end.
This is why. It's just too many things to remember, and just too much work goes into it. We want to especially thank Con for everything they've done in supporting this whole project, helping us to improve our audio and get us so far. All these episodes, these 100 episodes, they're all for you, Con. So thank you. Thank you so much.
And until next time.
And until next season. Jeez. Okay. Yeah. No, we're not ending Merlin Locke podcast. It's just the end of season 1. No, season 2 is coming. Hopefully bigger and better than ever. Probably more of the same, admittedly.
But we'll be trying some new things.
Yeah, we'll try some new things. We'll see what we can do.
I know that you do not like change, but it's time to man up. Get over it.
Yeah.
It's a new year, new us.
New year, new us. And actually, Locke is going to be taking over editing. So
if I have the time to do that, gladly.
You have the next 100 episodes. Good luck to you.
You're not out of this yet.
Jeez. It's been fun. Season 1 has been more of an experiment season and getting our feet under us. It's surprising that it took 100 episodes for us to finally start feeling comfortable in what we're doing. But, here we are. And I'm excited. I'm excited to start season 2 and see where this goes.
Bid you adieu until season 2.
Thank you for joining us on the Merlin Locke podcast. If you enjoyed this banter, please consider becoming a patron by going to patreon.com/merlandlocke or simply follow the link in the description. Thank you.